What's your big picture?
To keep the...
Life can get pretty busy out there. Daily commutes, carpooling, and then there's that weekend getaway. Cenex is here to keep your vehicle fueled up for those long drives, your pantry stocked for those snack cravings, and the propane grill ready whenever you are. Things can move fast, but with your local Cenex, you can rest assured that everything on your list will get a check mark, all in a day's work, powered locally at Cenex.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and the student athletes.
It's the DAC-12 NEC Clash here on Vermillion Tanagers Live and Live Ticket TV as we get you set for this matchup between the Sturgis Scoopers and the Vermillion Tanagers in what is not a DAC-12 NEC matchup. After Britton Heckla exited out of the NEC tournament for this weekend, we were in a mad dash and a scramble to pick up one last team and enter in the Sturgis Scoopers. And then from there, a lot of different scenarios started happening, including one team, Groton area, couldn't play several teams in front of them, and also moving around because a AA team shouldn't necessarily play where they're maybe supposed to play, and now enter this matchup. It's the 5-seed matchup between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Sturgis Scoopers, even though this is the 4 o'clock matchup slot because of the travel for the Sturgis Scoopers that made the trip today because they had a game last night. Like I said, a lot of different politics went into this matchup for this afternoon, but nonetheless, it is going to go off without a hitch, and we expect a good one between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Sturgis Scoopers. Good afternoon, I'm Heath Nimke getting you set for this matchup. A couple of games are already final here in the DAC-12 NEC Clash, but first we're going to take a look at these two teams. For Vermillion, coming in 10-3 overall, they picked up a crucial win against Del Rapids on Thursday evening. Caught up with head coach Jay Drake earlier, and we discussed more about how his group had to find a way, even going back to earlier this season, a lot of emphasis on the West Central game that saw the Vermillion Tanagers have a lead in the fourth quarter and end up losing it at the very last second. He said still trying to learn from that incident and still continuing to grow with this new team. After a year ago, it seemed like when they got to close games or even went into overtime games, they always found a way to win. However, this season hasn't necessarily been that way. And for the Vermillion Tanagers, we talk about it being a crucial win because the whole entire goal for Vermillion is to finish 17-3. They're not trying to put pressure at that mark, but they truly believe if they can finish 17-3, they can avoid playing the 1 seed that has basically cemented themselves at number 1 within Region 4A unless God plays intervention at this point. Sioux Falls Christian dominated Dakota Valley on Thursday evening, maybe one of the few teams that had a chance to knock Sioux Falls Christian potentially off that number 1 perch. But like I said, now that Sioux Falls Christian got another dominating victory, it seems like nothing can stop them at this point. So now it seems everyone is playing for second place within the region. And again, with Sturgis Brown here this afternoon, it's certainly an important game for the Vermillion Tanagers to get, and still looking at the rest of their schedule. You can't forget about Beersford and Groton area next week. Beersford took a tough loss against Sioux Valley on Thursday evening, but we know Groton area is very good. And then after that, Dakota Valley. And I can tell you this much, I've already seen Jason Kleiss, the head coach for the Dakota Valley Panthers. He is in attendance for this game. He is going to be getting his scouting report on the Vermillion Tanagers. Opposite side, the Sturgis Brown Scoopers. Again, a lot of different politics have gone to this one. They dropped Yankton on their schedule, so they didn't have to travel to Yankton to play that game. However, now all of a sudden they're traveling still all the way to the east side of the state to play in this DAC-12 NEC clash. And when you look at paper, this one seems very simple. The Sturgis Brown Scoopers come in 5-6. They're even 2-3 in Class AA, and they play a lot of Class A teams that they beat, but they're West River teams. So it just, I mean, on paper, it seems like this should be a 20 to 30 point victory for the Vermillion Tanagers, but head coach Jay Drake knows it's not going to be that way whatsoever. He is expecting a dogfight, and historically, Jay Drake's teams have struggled when it comes to the DAC-12 NEC clash. Today, everyone did make the trip. Today, everyone's equipment is with, but still, we have seen players miss. We have seen forgotten about jerseys and shoes. And then you have to deal with the main issue. It's a Saturday afternoon. These are high school boys, and their mind's not necessarily always on basketball. And it's a little bit of a trip making up here to Madison, South Dakota. So you just hope your team is dialed in. You hope they are focused and need to pick up, like we said, this crucial win over Sturgis Brown. And for the Scoopers, they would love nothing less than to continue on with where they're at right now. 3 straight victories. They haven't lost since back on the 18th against Rapid City Stevens. And looking at the rest of their schedule, they do have some favorable matchups still remaining. And this is a Sturgis Brown Scoopers team that is also trying to make it back to a state tournament. They have a good enough team to get into the AA state tournament. And of course, you only have to win 1 game on the AA side to make it to the state tournament. Like I said, the Scoopers certainly feel like they have a talented team to make it there. We're going to step aside for our first time out break. When we come back, we'll get you closer to this DAC-12 NEC clash. We'll also take a look at what else is happening in the clash and get you closer to tip between these two teams. That is on the way next here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
It's good to know there's a place where people know who you are, no matter how long you've been gone. A place where the smells of home cooking are still in the air, where a simple wave warms your heart, and sharing stories is just a way of life. It's good to be home. Agraria Insurance Company, protecting what's important in life. Contact your local Agraria Insurance Company agent.
Best Western Ramkota Hotel in Aberdeen is the place to stay for business or the weekend family getaway. You'll feel right at home with ample parking, spacious guest rooms, and complimentary breakfast. And with a convenient location, you'll have easy access to local attractions and events in the area. While staying at the Best Western Ramkota, guests can enjoy an indoor water play land, an on-site Minerva's restaurant, exercise facility, wedding services, and a business center. For friendly service and a great stay, make your reservation today.
Farming today requires constant adjustment, innovation, and the right seed. And you'll find that with Pioneer Seed at Dakota Seed and Services in Irene and Vermillion. With the most advanced technologies and local experts, Dakota Seed and Service share in your hard work on the farm, adapting to an ever-changing industry. When you need the right seed, protection, and service, make it Dakota Seed and Services in Irene and Vermillion. There's no better organization that gives back to the student athletes than the Booster Club. The Vermillion Booster Club is committed to helping all student athletes grow. Join the Tanager faithful today by becoming a member at GoTanagers.com. While you're there, check out team apparel for your favorite sports team. like them on Facebook to stay up to date on all the latest information in sports games. Join the Vermillion Boosters today and go Tanagers!
When life gets hard and our thoughts get too much to bear, finding the resiliency within us can help us find healing. The 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline provides 24/7 free support for anyone in suicidal distress or emotional crisis. All texts and calls are anonymous and connect you to local resources that uphold cultural values and pave the way to healing. Find the strength within you. Find the strength within our culture. Reach out if you need help today.
When it comes to advertising, reaching the right market while giving back to the school is just plain right. If you're looking for an effective method that reaches a large fan base at once, then here's your ticket with Live Ticket TV. With over 90 schools in the state of South Dakota, we can help you advertise locally with just your home team or reach the region. Plus, a portion of all sales go directly back to the school. Get a hold of Heath Nimke today and let's get started in building your brand with Live Ticket TV.
Out here.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and the student athlete.
It's the DAC-12 NEC Clash here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live. Good afternoon, I'm Heath Nimke getting you set for game number 2 here in the main gym. When it comes to the DAC-12 NEC Clash, this is technically the 4th game that is about to get underway. 2 games have already gone final. And when it comes to the DAC-12 NEC Clash, historically the DAC-12 has always dominated. In fact, they have never lost on both the boys and the girls side more than 2 matchups. However, NEC is looking to maybe make a little bit of noise. They do have already a victory in the last place game. Redfield beat Canton 56-41. Now, the Canton Seahawks boys basketball team a little bit on the downside so far this year. They've only picked up 1 win so far. Here in the main gym, what would have been a matchup of the 4 seeds, again, changing the schedule around for Sturgis Brown Scoopers and the Vermillion Tanagers. Lennox beat Aberdeen Roncalli 57-47. At one point, Lennox was up by 16 in the 4th quarter. Aberdeen Roncalli brought it all the way back to within 4 points, but Lennox able to finish off the job. And over in the auxiliary gym, currently going on in the 9th seed place games, Sisseton is beating Tri-Valley 24-16, almost a halftime there. Other games coming up, including here in the main gym after the Vermillion Tanagers, Dakota Valley will take on Dual. Also here in the main gym, number 2 Hamlin will take on number 4 West Central. And to round out the night when it comes to the top matchups in the state, Sioux Falls Christian will take on number 5 Clark Willow Lake. Not only is it a premier game, the DAC-12 NEC Clash as the 1 seed matchup, but as I mentioned, is one of the premier games when it comes to the state of South Dakota for this evening. Happening over in the auxiliary gym coming up at 2 o'clock. Millbank will take on Elk Point. Jefferson, Madison playing against Webster area, and Del Rapids and Groton area will play each other. Now, Groton area should be considered one of the higher seeds, but because they have already played Lennox this year, they are going to play Vermillion. They got bounced all the way down to that Del Rapids game. Again, they do try to avoid having you play the same team that you've already seen this season. So sometimes the true seeds don't necessarily match up. By the way, this is the first week of 2 weeks for the DAC-12 NEC Clash. The girls' pairings will be released tomorrow as the final games wrap up today in the Northeastern Conference and within the DAC-12. And from there, we will see where the Vermillion girls fall. It looks like it could be close to right around the same time as the Vermillion boys, and or could even play at the 11:45 game, the first game of the morning here in the main gym. But right now, it's time to get you set for this one between the Sturgis Brown Scoopers and the Vermillion Tanagers. Let's meet our starting 5 for the Scoopers for this afternoon. They'll lead things off with 0. Number Tegan Wormstadt, the 6'1" senior guard. Number 3, Jackson Kono, the 5'11" junior forward. Number 4, Hayden Rock, the 5'10" junior guard. Number 14, Dylan Schenk, the 6'3"
Welcome
senior
back
forward,
to the
and
Vermillion
number
Booster
24,
Club press box.
Ryan
Proud supporters
Heiner, the
of all Tanager
6'3"
athletics
senior
and the student
forward.
athletes.
Ryan will be one of the key players to the Scoopers, one the Vermillion Tanagers will look to shut down again. The Scoopers come in 5-6 overall. They are 2-3 within Class AA. Head coach is Dan Skinner. Assistant coaches include Patrick
Welcome
Cass
back to
and
the Vermillion
Nick
Booster
Cagle.
Club
For
press
the Vermillion
box. Proud
Tanagers,
supporters
it
of
has
all
been a
Tanager
couple
athletics and
wins
the
this
student
week
athletes.
over Crow Creek, 87-35. Then on Thursday evening, they beat Del Rapids 57-53. They're 10-3 overall. They're just 1-2 within Region 4A, and they're 4-3 within the DAC-12. Head coach is Jay Drake.
Welcome
the
back
assistant
to the
coaches John
Vermillion
Rivers,
Booster
Lewis
Club
Budmeyer,
press
and
box.
Connor
Proud
Rorick.
supporters
The
of
starting
all
five
Tanager
remains the
athletics
same.
and
Number
student
12,
athletes.
Landon Cerny, the 6' senior guard. Number 24, Carter Hansen, the 6'3" senior guard. Number 30, Luke Jensen, the 6'5" sophomore forward. Number 32, Gabe Larson, the 6'1" junior guard. And finally, number 33, Trey Hansen, the 6'4" junior guard
Welcome
for
back
the
to the
Vermillion
Vermillion
Tanagers.
Booster
The
Club
Tanagers
press box.
are the home team, and they're all white uniforms, with the Scoopers in their all black uniforms, numbers and letters that are in red. We are ready to go in Madison, South Dakota for the DAC-12 NEC Clash. The matchup of the 5 seeds is underway for game number 4 of this clash, as Trey Hansen will bring it into the front court. Again, the Scoopers, they played less than 24 hours ago. They did find a victory. They did also play game 1 of 2 in that doubleheader yesterday evening to give them more rest and get ready for this matchup against the Vermillion Tanagers. Quickly, the Scoopers work in the front court. Rock thought about shooting the 3, has it along the wing, so work it to the corner and back to the top. Vermillion with Gabe Larson missed their opening possession shot, and we're knotted at 0 apiece the first 45 seconds into this contest here this afternoon. Still controlled with Heinert in the lane, puts up with the right hand and gets it to go. Again, Ryan Heinert will be the big one to watch for the Scoopers. First 2 points of the ball game in a minute into today's contest. Contact made as they were trying to stop Trey Hansen on the dribble drive. A foul called. Dylan picking up his first personal and the first team foul. So Vermillion will have it along the baseline as they try to inbound to Jensen, able to save it with his right hand. Now Trey Hansen on the drive, gets by 2 defenders and puts it off the glass and good for 2. And we're knotted at 2 apiece. 6:41 first quarter as the Scoopers bring it across the front court. Vermillion right now, they do play man-to-man defense. That has been historically basically the only defense that Jay Drake plays. They can go into zone, but it's preferred not to. Heiner hoists up a 3, this one off the back of the iron, and bringing it in the front court quickly is Trey Hansen. He is going to attack. They want to bring help. He misses, and a foul is called as they say Heiner got there late trying to take the charge. And when you come in late like that, you certainly have to establish yourself, and if you don't, foul goes against you, and also a shooting foul. So Trey Hansen will head to the charity stripe to hoist up 2, where he knocks down the first one. Has 3 points, all 3 for the Vermillion Tanagers so far this season. Again, Trey Hansen averages just under 17 points a ball game. Second free throw, gets this one to go, has all 4 for the Vermillion Tanagers, and Trey Hansen, that dynamic player for the Vermillion Tanagers, can go off for 50 points on any given night and or day. As we're here in the afternoon, you've got to make sure you shut him down. Heiner has it as they kick it around to Rock. Haven't really even called all the Scoopers offensive players, just because haven't all touched the ball really. And a foul on the drive. Count the bucket for Hayden Rock. Rock his first 2 points. And a foul on the Vermillion Tanagers be called against Landon Cerny, picking up his first personal and the first team foul. So now the and 1 opportunity for Hayden Rock. Has his toes on the charity stripe, knocks it down. Just like that, the Scoopers take back a lead. Just a modest 1-point lead, 5-4. 5:55 first quarter. Hansen, the drive, scoop layup good, and Trey Hansen certainly feeling comfortable already this afternoon. All 6 points for the Vermillion Tanagers, and it's back to a 1-point lead. Rock in the lane, got away from his defender, kicked out, and Carter Hansen deflects it away as they try to get it to Heinert and will pick it up and lay it in for 2. Good defense, transition offense, all done by Carter Hansen. And then Carter Hansen making a steal and a bucket. And all of a sudden, Carter Hansen with 4 points in the first quarter. 10 for the Vermillion Tanagers. They lead it 10-5, 5:30 in the first quarter. Again, this is the DAC-12 NEC Clash here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live. Start of the third quarter over in the auxiliary gym. Sisseton leads Tri-Valley 27-20. Again, 2 games have already wrapped up here in the DAC-12 NEC Clash. Redfield beat Canton 56-41, and Lennox beat Aberdeen Roncalli 57-47. So in the conference clash, it's split right now 1-1 in the series. The Hansen boys, Carter and Trey, have all 10 for the Vermillion Tanagers after the 32nd timeout from head coach Dan Skinner. He has 4 remaining, 3 full in a 30 seconds. We'll see what the Scoopers can get solved, as it was, again, a transition bucket by Carter Hansen and then a quick inbound steal that led to his quick 4 points all in a matter of 3 seconds. Quick all the way up to Larson. He was about to go out of bounds, try to dish off to Landon Cerny. A fight for the basketball right in front of the Scooper bench will go out of bounds, and it'll belong to the Scoopers. Jay Drake paces up and down. And a casual outfit, wearing the dress pants and the simple pullover for this afternoon. Heinert, the left-handed dribble, trying to spin, get a little bit of separation, and gets the friendly roll off the front of the iron. He quickly has 4 points in this first quarter and 17 points not even halfway through the first quarter. So both teams at the moment feeling comfortable with their offense. Jensen kicks back out to Carter Hansen. Scoopers want to shut down Trey Hansen. And Hansen that time shuts down himself as he travels, getting the handoff from his brother. 10-7, Scoopers within 3, 1 possession game. Neither team has dipped into their bench yet in the first 3.5 minutes of this opening quarter. Heinert trying to get a little bit of separation, goes up strong and gets it to go. We talked about it in the pregame. Heinert was going to be the key piece to shut down for the Scoopers, and he is showing why. Such a big man inside and nifty with his feet as well. Blanchette ready to come in at the next dead ball, and we'll see that dead ball coming. So Spencer Blanchette ready to check in. Foul, by the way, on the Scoopers, now picking up their 3rd team foul. And the foul goes against Tegan Wormstadt, the first time that we have called his name today for a foul. Vermillion able to get the easy score that time for Carter Hansen. And now Hansen with 6 points, 12-9, 3:48 first quarter. Turnaround jumper in the lane, not going to go. And Heinert was there for the rebound, but almost jumped off a little to the side that he couldn't get it. Quickly up to Spencer Blanchette, who just checked in. Nifty move underneath the kick out. They move around the basketball. Still Carter Hansen. He'll go himself, puts it up, and it hits the rim 3 times. Offensive rebound. Cerny, the 3 ball, gets it to go. Landon Cerny, his first points. In fact, it's the first points of the game that doesn't involve the Hansen boys scoring. 15-9, 3:14 first quarter. Left-handed dribble, try and make something happen. Rock gets his shot blocked away there by Jensen. Jensen was waiting for him to go up, and as he did so, brought in the left claw to knock it away. 3-pointer by Hansen, missed. Another offensive rebound. Jensen picks it up, but give a lot of credit to Cerny, who was underneath, causing the damage, knocking it around. Eventually, Vermillion misses their second shot as Heinert brings it into the front court. Again, less than 24 hours rest the Scoopers are on, and they have yet to make a sub here in this first quarter. An easy O-board that time for Hayden Rock. Rock now has 5 points in this first quarter, 15-11. Spencer leaves his finger roll short. Scoopers quickly into the front court, wasting no time. Heiner all the way himself, but can't finish with the left hand. Here goes Trey Hansen, and now a track meet between these two teams. Hansen off the glass and good for two. This team can run, Vermillion can, at a high pace, not necessarily always Jay Drake's mantra, but when his team has 17 points in the first quarter, you'll take it at the moment. We will see a pair of substitutions come in just a moment. Rock got bumped over, but they say there's no foul call. Loose basketball. Cerny is trying to get loose, and the officials kind of just let everything go. No one was hustling or hassling each other on the ground, and Vermillion eventually comes away with the rock. It's Jensen down at the block, trying to fight his way through the defense, and a foul is called. No, they will say a travel instead on Jensen, as he will come out and Pratt will come in. Heiner will check out of the ball game. There's a couple substitutions coming in for the Sturgis Scoopers, including now into the ball game. For Sturgis for the first time will be Carter Williams, the senior forward standing at 6'4", currently over in the near corner. It's Rock right now who's going to run the offense, kick over, three ball. This one is off the mark. For Dylan, we haven't called his name much here in the ball game. Trey Hansen quickly into the front court, lost it over in the corner, but able to find Preister underneath the hoop. Kick out to Cerny, who had open look three. Now he'll decide to take it and got it. He said, I don't really like it at the top. I'll move it more over to the wing, more of my sweet spot. 2 threes for him in this first quarter, 20-11, 101 first quarter. As the Scoopers find themselves down by 9, but to give a lot of credit to the Scoopers, it's been a lot better at Vermillion moving the rock and finding the open shots and getting this offense going. Rock, speaking of, inside, and he is going to be fouled as he goes up strong. That's probably the one downfall of the Scoopers. It seems like so much of their offense runs through Heiner, and when he's not on there, then it just goes straight to Hayden Rock. At least if you're Coach Drake and John Roovers, it makes it a little bit easier to key on defensively of who you need to shut down. The free throw is up and good for Rock. By the way, the foul was on Cerny, and unfortunately Cerny has picked up his second, both team fouls of the game. He's going to get a spot on the bench. Head coach Jay Drake gives him a little talk and says, you're going to be sitting here for a little bit, so make yourself comfortable. So you want Cerny out there. Again, he's already hit 2 threes, but with 2 personal fouls, you got to start watching his minutes. Trey Hansen loses it. Picked up, though, by his brother Carter, who hops in the lane. Now underneath to Larson, who's triple team back out to Pratt. He'll shoot it. This one off the mark, but excuse me, Preister, that was the one who shot it. Vermillion gets it back in the O board. The little baby dunk by Carter Hansen didn't necessarily get it to flush, but eventually finds its way through the rabbit hole. 22-13. 10 seconds remaining in this first quarter. Rock has it tied up by Carter Hansen. Jump ball, possession arrow favors the Sturgis Scoopers, it looks like. So even though the jump ball called by the Vermillion Tanagers tying up and Carter Hansen, the Scoopers will still have it with 7.6, trailing it by 9. They get it in, get straight off to Rock on the handoff. He'll shoot the 3 off the mark, but it's an O board for Kono, and then Spencer Blanchette just rips it away, but will never get a shot off, and that will be the end of quarter number 1, where the Vermillion Tanagers have been lights out shooting it in this first quarter, including 8 from Carter Hansen and 8 from Trey Hansen. Out of the 22, they lead it by 9. We're back in 60 seconds here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
To keep growing, you have to keep changing. CHS and the farmers and ranchers we serve know all about change, because together we've changed agriculture. That's why we're the largest farmer-owned cooperative in the country. So farmers own the system they count on, with advantages at every step. From innovative tools that help crops grow, to grain processing expertise, to energy solutions, we create connections to empower agriculture. Learn more at chsinc.com.
Nice.
Maytag appreciates a compliment, but this Maytag washer isn't just eye candy.
Wow.
Inside, it's got the capacity and power to handle even the mightiest loads.
I love this.
Yeah, she's a beaut.
It's a he.
How do you know?
Don't worry about it.
Find Maytag products and the industry's best appliances at your local dealer, Merce Appliance, downtown Vermillion.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and
The Vermillion Tanagers will begin with the basketball. We start this second quarter up by 9, 22-13. Great offensive production from the Vermillion Tanagers and got a lot of help doing it, including Landon Cerny was able to hit a couple threes. Otherwise, the Hanson boys got 8 points apiece, but give a lot of credit to the role players on this team of getting it, the assist, moving around the basketball. As we begin this second quarter, a move by Jake Jensen as he got fouled underneath, by Luke Jensen as he gets fouled underneath, and will head to the free throw line, missing his first. By the way, the foul, as Luke is able to hit the second one, get his first point of the ball game. The foul was on Noah Schaefers, the senior center, sitting in at 6'8". First time he's getting some minutes to start this second quarter. Heinert, by the way, is back out there, just missed, gets back his own rebound. And Heinert goes back up and is able to score. He now has 8 points in the ball game, the leading scorer for the Scoopers. He sat for the last 2 minutes to give himself a breather. Three-pointer by Trey Hansen is off the mark. And Noah Schaefers, the big man underneath. Vermillion just got done seeing a very tall player in Del Rapids the other evening. And a great move underneath to score from Hayden Rock, and it's an immediate timeout from head coach Jay Drake as he sees the Scoopers begin quickly with a 4-0 run after the free throw from Luke Jensen. We'll step aside. We're back in 30 seconds here on Live Ticket TV.
Birds like tanagers are great at flying out of the way to miss your car. Deer and other drivers are not. If you're in any kind of accident, bring your vehicle to Blaine's Body Shop in Vermillion. We repair your vehicle to pre-accident condition and handle the entire process from start to finish, including an accurate estimate and dealing with the insurance adjuster. So good luck to the tanagers, and if you're in an accident, bring your vehicle to
Blaine's Body Shop. Blaine's Body Shop. Automotive collision repair.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and the student athlete.
Luke Jensen able to get a free throw to start this second quarter off, but the Sturgis Scoopers have since answered right back and all of a sudden find themselves trailing by 6 as Jensen goes underneath once again and is quickly fouled again. So after the timeout from head coach Jay Drake, draws something up to get the Scoopers immediately into trouble, and it works out. The foul, by the way, comes against Gage West, and the Scoopers did not begin with all of their starters on the court to start this second quarter. Again, a majority of their starters played the full time in the first quarter. Again, this is a team that is not only making the long trip over to the east side of the state, but also played a game last night. So less than 24 hours ago, the Scoopers did pick up a victory. They are 3-0 in their last 3 games. Kick around, corner 3, and this one is good from Gage West. And West has his first points of the game after Luke Jensen went 1 of 2 from the free throw line again. And Vermillion's 9-point lead after quarter number 1 is cut down to just 4. The drive high off the glass, missed by Carter Hansen. But it's another quick foul, which gets Patrick Cass and Nick Nagel on their feet in frustration. The assistant coaches, head coach Dan Skinner, wants a quick conversation as the foul was called. And again, another sub out there of Ty Ferguson. First free throw is good for Carter Hansen, able to make them both. And with that, Carter Hansen is now the leading scorer for both teams, and the first one to hit double digits with 10 points. 26-20, 6:15 second quarter. It's an offensive quick start to the second quarter. Heinert, turnaround jumper is off the mark, and they say the rebound last touched by Noah Schaefers. Again, the Scoopers not happy with that call as they thought Schaefers was a little off of the mark, but still. Last touch by him. Cerny has it in the corner. He's already hit a couple threes. Dribbles into a double team, but able to work himself out. The rainbow pass to the near side. Pump fake by Hansen. Now drives in and misses the shot off the glass. Rebounded by the Scoopers. Sturgis Brown, end of the front court. Left side, trying to get it down to Schaefer's, but the big defensive play by Jensen knocks it away. Vermillion, defense to offense. Larson will shoot the three, knocks it down. Gabe Larson, his first points of the ball game. Tanagers now have knocked down 3 threes in this afternoon's contest, and they're back up to the 9-point lead, their biggest lead that they've had. Quick jumper the opposite way. This one is good for Tegan Wormstadt, his first points of the game. 29-22, 5:01, second quarter. Vermillion Tanagers found themselves down by 1 to 2 points early in the first quarter, but have established a lead since 6-5 and have not given it up since then. Heiner, the quick three, this one off the mark, but Noah Schaefer's had an easy O-board and just missed. Going a little too fast that time, needed to collect himself. Hansen over to Larson, back-to-back threes for him. This one, though, off the mark. Chasing it down is Jensen and throws it right to Hansen. Move it around to the near side, off the mark, Cerny, but another O-board for the Vermillion Tanagers as they'll go quickly back to the near side. And it looked like Gabe Larson had contact on Schaefer's, who was just trying to play light help defense that time. But instead, they will call it on someone else. Instead, that's Ty Ferguson, who they're going to call the foul on, picking up now his second personal. But more specifically, it is the fourth team foul at the 4:19 mark of this second quarter. So next foul by the Scoopers will send Vermillion to the free throw line to shoot bonus. Tanagers inbound underneath. It's Hansen. Looked like he was trying to draw the contact. Nothing called. And quickly, the Scoopers into the front court. Transition bucket here, able to go. As again, the Scoopers clawing themselves right back into it. Down by 5, 29-24, 3:53. Three-pointer for Hansen, knocks it down, and Trey Hansen looked over to the Scooper bench on his way back down court. 32-24. Heiner, the NBA three, off the mark, and Jensen, a quick rebound. Toss it over to Trey Hansen, back over to Jensen, the give and go, and a nice assist there from Trey Hansen. Luke Jensen now 4 points in a quarter, and another timeout called by the Sturgis Scoopers. It's the second 30-second timeout for Dan Skinner. We'll step aside. We're back in 30 seconds here on Live Ticket TV.
Timeouts are more than just a break. They're an opportunity. At Blue 10 Design and Marketing, we help small-town businesses shine, just like your team on game day. From creative branding to digital marketing, we're here to support your community. Let's build something great together. Visit blue10design.com.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and the student athlete.
34-24, 10-point lead marks the biggest lead the Vermillion Tanagers have had in the ball game. Sturgis Scoopers every time have clawed back in this second quarter. Closest they've gotten within 4 at 24-20, but have never made it closer than a one-possession game. We'll see after the Dan Skinner timeout if they can't get some more offense and more defensive production from their team. As Tegan Wormstadt hits another jumper in this quarter. 4 points for him, all coming in the quarter. Carter Hansen. Cerny back out to Hansen, straightaway three for him, knocks it down. Vermillion hits their 5th three in the ball game. It's also the 4th different Tanager to hit a three. 37-26. They want to go to the corner. Pass is deflected away by Trey Hansen, but they did say that Gage West tried to stop it from going out of bounds. Last touch by him. And with that, he'll take a spot on the bench as Hayden Rock will check back in. 37-26, 2:43, second quarter. Trey Hansen, pull-up jumper. This one off the heel of the iron, rebounded by the Sturgis Scoopers. Down by 11, which is now the biggest deficit the Scoopers have faced. Over on the wing, near side, Wormstad tries to make his move. Back to Heinert, who has been quiet in this second quarter. Only 2 points for him. Thought about the deep three, now we'll take it. And this one off the mark. He has shot a couple deep threes in this quarter, has not been able to connect. Trey Hansen going a little too fast, but somehow got the tip pass over to Luke Jensen. He hits his first three. Now 5 different Tanagers have hit threes in this afternoon's contest. It's the biggest lead for Vermillion, up by 14. Wormstad off to Heinert, who's just trying to answer back. This one off the mark. Cerny with the rebound. Vermillion trying to deliver the knockout punch before halftime. Over to the corner. This one is off the mark for Spencer Blanchette, who has gotten some game action in this first and second quarter, but has yet to score. Pull up at the elbow, knocked down as Tegan Wormstad has really gotten going with his jumper in this second quarter. 6 points for him, 40-28, 110, second quarter. And now jumper, deep three off the mark for Jensen as it will go out of bounds, and Gabe Larson will check back in to the game for the Vermillion Tanagers, replacing Spencer. Jay Drake, as he historically has shortened up his bench throughout the season, only going about 1-2 deep, sometimes 3 at the most. 40-28, 56 seconds. Scoopers can bring it under double digits. They trailed by 9 at the end of quarter number 1. Rock lost it, but there was contact, and it will go against Cerny. Remember, the Scoopers picked up their 4th team foul at the 4:13 mark. They have not surrendered another foul since. That was also the first on Vermillion, but more specifically, as I just said, the 3rd on Cerny. With it being his 3rd with 47 seconds remaining, he will be able to continue on in the second half of starting immediately. Some coaches don't necessarily want to do that if you pick up 4. Did see it happen earlier this season. The kid picked up his 5th within 10 seconds of the start of the second half. Didn't work out well for him. Hansen, dribble in between the legs, just working the clock. 2 seconds separate the shot clock from game clock. So potentially the Scoopers could get the basketball back with a missed shot or even a make from the Vermillion Tanagers, but they would have to go quick. Down to 5 seconds on the shot clock. It's Trey Hansen, pull up in the lane. This one off the mark. Fight for the rebound. It goes to Larson. It was blocked away, and a last-second attempt was never going to get close by Wormstad. Does, by the way, count as a shot. Missed. 40-28 at halftime as the Vermillion Tanagers extend their 9-point lead by another 3. Going into halftime, Vermillion Tanagers have had 5 different players hit threes. Also, Carter Hansen and Trey Hansen both had 8 points. After quarter number 1, both were kind of quiet, but the rest of the offense gets going. We'll take a look at our first half statistics next at halftime. That's on the way here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
Hey kids, it's never too early to start planning for your future. Did you know Masaba provides scholarships and tuition assistance? They are committed to your success, offering engineering, drafting, and welding opportunities, plus scholarships, job shadowing, and mentorship programs. Learn more at masabainc.com/careers. When I grow up, I want to work at Masaba.
Masaba Manufacturing. Unlock your future and rock with us.
Midwest Ready Mix and Equipment is your locally owned and operated ready mix company. Their specialty, 6x6 front discharge mixer trucks that allows for better placement of concrete and ease of use. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment offers the highest quality of concrete products and aggregate, and also a full-service dealer for Logon equipment featuring telehandlers, excavators, and ASV track skid loaders for purchase or rent. Midwest Ready Mix Equipment, East Highway 50, Vermillion.
CoreCares helps individuals stay at home by offering caregiving, nursing, and medical alert systems in over 55 communities in South Dakota. Specializing in tasks like bathing, meal prep, and medication setups, our well-trained staff delivers exceptional care. We invest in our team through customized training and comprehensive benefits. To learn more about job opportunities or services, visit our website at corecares.com. CoreCares, proudly serving our community.
Jensen Kennels is your safe place to take your dog while you're away. They have over 7,000 square feet of indoor run space and outdoor play yards. They pride themselves in providing enrichment both mentally and physically for all types of dog. And speaking of size, Jensen Kennels can host any size of dog, from the smallest Boston Terrier to the largest Great Dane. To find out the full services Jensen Kennels offers, check out their website and Facebook pages. Next time you need your dog to stay in a safe, fun environment, make it Jensen's Kennels.
Fentanyl is a powerful synthetic opioid, up to 100 times stronger than morphine. Even a tiny amount can be deadly. It's often mixed with other drugs without your knowledge, increasing your risk of overdose. Protect yourself and your loved ones and avoid unknown substances. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, one pill can kill. For more information on fentanyl prevention, visit your local health resource or speak to a healthcare professional today. This message was brought to you by the Great Plains Tribal Opioid Response, so that the people may live.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and the student athlete.
40 points by the Vermillion boys in the first half. Remember, this is a team that only scored 57 points on Thursday evening, and sometimes it's the Jacqueline Hyde, as head coach Jay Drake will always joke with me and says, I don't know which one you necessarily want, if you want Jacqueline or Hyde. Sometimes I get a little confused by the two, but right now, one thing he could confirm is he likes seeing the points from his group. 40 points in that first half and holding Sturgis to 28. He would certainly say if he was up here right now at halftime, 28
Welcome back
is
to
a little
the
too high.
Booster
I did
Club
like
Press
our
Box.
performance
Proud
by shutting down
supporters of all
Heiner
Tanager
there in the
athletics and
second
the
quarter, but
student
28 is still a little high. Like I said, I've hung around Jay Drake for about 7 years now, so I know exactly what sometimes he's going to say. And speaking of the first half statistics, let's get into it as the Sturgis Brown Scoopers will begin with them first. 8 points from Ryan Heiner. He is not the leading scorer, as Hayden Rock dished in 7 points in the first quarter. He did get a bucket in the second, but that's the only scoring he has had. And again, Ryan Heiner, the main scorer for the Scoopers, had it 6 in quarter number 1, hit a jumper, had a few different looks from a deep three, but Vermillion did a really nice job of keying in on him defensively and shutting him down. But for the Scoopers, that does mean other guys will get going, including Tegan Wormstad, had 6 points in the second quarter, all 6 of them coming in that quarter. Otherwise, off the bench, we have seen a 3-pointer from Gage West, and also Dylan got a 2-pointer in the second quarter from a jumper. That is the scoring for the Sturgis Brown Scoopers. The Vermillion Tanagers, good news, all starting 5 have scored. Bad news is bench points is as resounding goose egg at the moment, as the bench has not scored. 2 in double figures, with Carter Hansen leading the way, 13 points in the first half, including 8 in quarter number 1, and also 5 in the second quarter. Trey Hansen with 11 points. He was held in check in the second quarter, only hitting a 3-pointer. Otherwise, as we said, the starting 5 have all scored. Luke Jensen has 7 points, all 7 coming in the second quarter. Landon Cerny has 6 all 6 coming in the first quarter, and Gabe Larson was able to knock down a 3 in the second quarter. In fact, Vermillion Tanagers have had all starting 5 hit a 3-pointer, which makes it extremely difficult if you're the Sturgis Brown Scoopers on who to key in on and try to shut down from deep. Usually you can focus in on 2, maybe even 3 guys that you really want to shut down, but like I said, when everyone's able to knock down a shot for the Vermillion Tanagers, and that's what this whole entire season was about, was this is the best perimeter shooting team that Jay Drake has seen in his 17 years with the Vermillion Tanagers, and he expects that type of offensive output each and every night, but sometimes it doesn't necessarily always come along. Again, Vermillion is trying to make it 3-0 on the week before they get ready for another busy couple of weeks, including on the road at Beersford and also taking on Groton area next Friday evening. By the way, this is the DAC-12 NEC Clash. The girls will participate in this same clash coming up next Saturday. We do not know the official matchups between the Vermillion Tanagers and who they could face. As again, that goes all the way until this evening, with the final game still need to be played, and from there we'll decipher from seed points and then make sure no opponents that you have already seen this season, and everything will settle out. We'll know those tomorrow afternoon. Again, at halftime, 40-28. Vermillion leads by 12 over the Sturgis Brown Scoopers. We're going to step aside. We're back in just 60 seconds here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends. How to fit in.
Welcome
how to
back
be cool.
to the Vermillion Booster Club.
We want our
Press
children
Box.
to have
Proud
everything they'll
supporters of all
need
Tanager
to live
athletics and
fulfilling
student
and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 57,000 participants here in South Dakota who take part in high school sports or activities.
There's no better way to bring in the new year than with a new Deere.
Welcome back to
Grosenberg
the
Implement has a
Vermillion
huge
Booster
selection
Club
of new
Press
John
Box.
Deere
Proud
equipment as
supporters
well
of
as
all
specials
Tanager
on used
athletics
equipment
and
from
the
John
student
Deere and other
athlete.
brands. Get dependable agricultural, residential, and commercial equipment at Grosenberg Implement with 9 locations in South Dakota, Nebraska, and Wyoming. Stop by to visit with a sales professional today or go to grosenberg.com to browse the new and used inventory. Grosenberg Implement, where service
Welcome
is the
back
other
to
half
the
of a great
Vermillion
product.
Booster Club Press Box. Proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and the student athlete.
It's the DAC-12 NEC Clash here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live. Vermillion Tanagers taking on the Sturgis Brown Scoopers and what is not a DAC-12 NEC matchup after Britton Heckla did not participate on the boys' side of things. The Sturgis Brown Scoopers have replaced Britton Heckla and trying to make their presence known for the NEC. Quick look at what's gone on so far during this clash. Redfield beat Canton at 56-41. Lennox beat Aberdeen Roncalli 57-47. And in the final 9 minutes, Sisseton is going to beat Tri-Valley. They're at the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter, 42-33. Other game coming up in the auxiliary gym at 2 o'clock. Elk Point Jefferson will take on Millbank, and the game after this one will be Dakota Valley taking on Dual. I saw some Dakota Valley coaches earlier getting their scouting report on the Vermillion Tanagers in this first half. As again, coming up in just a little bit of time on February 11th, so in 10 days, Dakota Valley and the Vermillion Tanagers will play against one another. That will be inside the birdcage. Dakota Valley, one of the premier teams in Class A. They did lose on Thursday evening against Sioux Falls Christian. We are set and ready to go for the second half between the Vermillion Tanagers and the Sturgis Brown Scoopers. Both teams will bring back out their starting 5 of Wormstadt, Kano, Rock, Shank, and Heinart. And for the Vermillion Tanagers, Cerny, Hansen, Jensen, Larson, and Hansen. As Heinart will begin with it at the block, dishes it off to Kano, who will put it off the glass. And it will be his first points of this afternoon, as he was the only starter not to score for the Scoopers. Quick 3 the opposite way, off the mark for Gabe Larson. 40-30. By no means are the Scoopers out of this game. They just need to get some offense going, and have more defense, if you will, as Vermillion did shoot extremely well, but now a bad turnover as Heinert was cutting into the lane, a miscommunication, and Vermillion Tanagers will get the easy turnover. Jensen over to Carter on the wing. Carter flip it over to the near corner. Cerny for the three-pointer. Good. Landon Cerny, all 9 of his points coming from downtown Madison, 43-30. A minute into this third quarter. As Coach Dan Skinner paces up and down the sideline, and now we're going to get an illegal screen against the Scoopers, trying to get some words there. That time is Hayden Rock, as he wants the official to tell him what he's doing wrong. So Rock will pick up, though, just his first and the first team foul as well. 43-30, 6:48, third quarter. Trey Hansen down to the block, keeping his pivot foot down, trying to find some space, but leaves his jumper short. Didn't even draw iron. Down by 13, the Scoopers are. As Heinert tries to get his team to move away, he wants some space to operate, but another shot that he can't get to go. He's had the looks, just has not been able to finish it off since the first quarter. Carter Hansen goes up strong, can't get the shot to go, but he was bumped as he was shooting. 2 free throws upcoming, the second team foul on the Sturgis Brown Scoopers, and will also be the first one on Jackson. That is one big thing for Sturgis Brown Scoopers that I didn't really mention a whole lot at halftime there, is the only one who was in foul trouble coming into the second half was Ty Ferguson, who had picked up 2, but even he is a bench player. None of these starters either had 1 or 0 fouls. Now they all have 1 at the moment, but again, nothing to worry about if you're the Scoopers. Both free throws are good from Carter Hansen, leading scorer for both teams. He has 15 in the ball game. Bring it into the front court. Go the Scoopers. Jackson Cano to the top of the key. Now in the lane. Wormstad knocks down another 10-footer. Wormstad 8 points in the ball game. Did not score in that first quarter. Really found his stride in the second. 5:52. Hansen kicks out to Cerny, another corner 3. This one is off the mark. Fight for the rebound. Hansen was going out of bounds, just threw it behind his head, hoping to find a Tanager. Did not work out. Nifty move, though. Give him some credit. Heinert, the catch and shoot 3, knocks it down. Ryan Heinert just needed something to find the bottom of the barrel and was going to force up anything because he's a shooter. He's feeling confident in himself all the time. And knocks it down. He now hits double digits with 11 points in the game. Pump fake and got Heinert to move into Trey Hansen, and Trey Hansen will draw the simple foul. It's an easy one to get if you can get your player to make the move, and he did. Heinert picks up his second, but more specifically, it is the third. Again, Sturgis Brown Scoopers picked up 14 fouls, not even halfway through the second quarter, did not pick up a foul after that. Never sending Vermillion to the free throw line. NBA 3 for Carter Hansen. We've now seen both teams take some very, very deep threes. And where I'm heading at for this evening, I'm going to see a lot of that tonight because of players getting confused at which three-point line they can shoot from. Up at the Pentagon, they have 3 different ones, and we'll see a lot of different G League threes. It's sometimes funny to see because guys will just pull up and it's like, man, you could have brought another 3 feet in or so. Jumper off the mark for Carter Hansen, knocked out of bounds. It will be last touch by the Tanagers. 45-35, 10-point game. Again at halftime, it was 40-28. Vermillion had a 12-point lead, and now it's just 10. As the Tanagers have gone on a little bit of a cold streak. They're able to hit a couple buckets to start this third quarter. Move around, Wormstad. Kick it back over the corner, shoot the 3. This one is off the mark. Fight for the rebound. Carter Hansen quickly up to Larson, but it's too far in front of him. And will go wide of bounds. The transition works if you can make it happen. That one, a bad turnover, and head coach Jay Drake doesn't like it. We'll step aside and take the timeout with him. We're back in 30 seconds here on Live Ticket TV.
Do you have a Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and the student athlete.
47-41 late in the fourth quarter between Sisseton and Tri-Valley. At one point, Tri-Valley was down 11. With 3 minutes remaining, they have drawn within 6, trying to make the comeback against Sisseton in the auxiliary gym in this DAC 12 NEC clash. If Sisseton can hold on, the NEC will go in front at the moment with this clash and take a 2-1 small series lead. The only win so far for the DAC 12 was Lennox beating Aberdeen Roncalli. Even though Sturgis Brown Scoopers aren't a part of the NEC, they will count for it today. Back into action as the Scoopers make a few substitutions. Three-pointer, this one is off the mark again. Coming out of a head coach, Jay Drake timeout, trying to get his team to settle down and move the offense a little bit more and make some points happen as they've kind of gone cold. Cerny, another three, knocks down another one. Landon Cerny is that type of Josh Hart player for the NBA that you never know what he can do on any given night. He's going to be great defensively, but sometimes when his offense gets going, it's unstoppable. And Landon Cerny, a player coming in just averaging under 7 points a game, has 12 all from downtown. His three-point percentage is 54%. So he can hit the three, no doubt about it. And he has certainly felt it today. It's also back up to a 13-point lead, 48-35. The fake shot, make the last-second pass, go out of bounds. It looked like Hayden Rock was going to go up with it. Decided he didn't want to. Get the ball on the turnover. Back to Vermillion as a couple more substitutions are made. Shaq will come back in. And also, we'll see Ty Pitaraco come back in for the first time we've called his name here this afternoon. Trey Hansen trying to get around his defender, lost the basketball, somehow made the pass over to his older brother. Trey has it now in the lane. Kick to the corner, Landon Cerny three, air ball, technically a pass. It does go, by the way, as a missed three. But Trey Hansen, 13 points for him in the ball game. It is also his first points of this third quarter, has scored in all quarters now. 15-point lead, which matches the biggest lead. Reach and foul as Heiner was trying to get away from his defender and pass it. The foul goes against Trey Hansen, picking up his first personal. It's also the first team foul. Again, the Scoopers picked up 3 quick fouls in this third quarter, have not made a foul since. They play very disciplined defense, it seems like, in the first 2 minutes of each quarter. Get themselves in a little bit of trouble, then buckle down. Heiner in the lane. Had it poked away from behind, but gets it back. Another deep three from him. This one is off the mark. Fight for the rebound. And Trey Hansen, the quarterback pass all the way up to his brother, and cherry picking on the opposite end, Carter Hansen, an easy bucket. He has 17 in the ball game, 52-35. It's a 17-point lead, the biggest lead for the Vermillion Tanagers. We're back in 60 seconds here on Live Ticket TV.
Problem? Got bats, ants, termites? Family owned and operated, Olson's Pest Technicians have had over 50 years experience taking care of pest problems in places across South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Utilizing brilliant methods such as Centricon bait stations for termites and Vicane treatment for bed bugs. There's no pest too tough for Olson's Pest Technicians. If you have pest problems, call 800-KILL-BUGS.
Welcome to Dakota PC Warehouse, where our staff aren't just friendly, we're certified nerds with a side of tech genius. Prepare to be awed as we unleash a barrage of geeky charm and unbeatable deals on PCs and HD TVs. And our tech gurus, armed with determination and a questionable assortment of snacks, can fix just about anything. We love technology and making it work for you. Dakota PC Warehouse, because being a nerd is our superpower.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and the student athlete.
Landon Cerny, the leading scorer of this third quarter, 12 points from him in the ball game, hitting 2 threes in the first quarter, now 2 threes in this third. Vermillion has a 17-point lead, their biggest lead of the game, and then Heiner just lost the dribble off of his knee out of bounds. Well, head coach Jay Drake expected a dogfight in this one. Hasn't necessarily been that type of fight, but give a lot of credit to his offense, who has gone just 12 points, though, in this third quarter. Trey Hansen, the drive, tried to give a little finger roll at the end, couldn't get it to go. Rivers was a little upset that it didn't fall. Scoopers with Rock have it in the lane. Kick it out back to Wormstad. He likes to find his spot within 10 feet of the hoop, where he has all 8 of his points right in that area. Moving around, Cano has it. Now to Heiner. Heiner, the left-hand dribble, puts it right at the foot of Spencer Blanchette. And quickly in the front court transition, Carter Hansen caught it on the run, tried to go up with his left hand and couldn't finish it off. Head coach Jay Drake still not happy. 3-pointer good. And now extremely frustrated is head coach Jay Drake, because that's called transition basketball. When you miss an easy one on one end, 3 on the opposite, it results in a 5-point swing. Underneath, moving around nicely. Jensen tried to force a tough bounce pass, and now this one just thrown up in the air by Hansen. He thought he was fouled. Nothing called. It did hit off the shot clock as well, so stop of play. 52-38, 46 seconds left in this third quarter. Vermillion, a 9-point lead, a 12-point lead, and now a 14-point lead. We'll see if they can keep it at this, or if the Scoopers can get a little closer heading into the fourth. Wormstad has it. Kick over to the far wing, and now a deep 3 by Rock. It was partially deflected, saved before it went out of bounds by the Scoopers, but Vermillion will have it. So again, it was a 9-point lead after quarter number 1, a 12-point lead at halftime. Right now it's going to be a 14-point lead going into the fourth, unless Vermillion can get a bucket here. Hansen to Cerny with 4 seconds. Jensen back to Trey Hansen. Hansen with a second, puts up his 3. This one is off the mark. A 14-point lead. Head coach Jay Drake would certainly take it, but now have to finish. Can the Vermillion boys do that? We'll find out in 60 seconds here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
When the world feels big, a small note can mean everything. Find mental health support at sdbehavioralhealth.gov.
For healthier crops and stronger yields, count on Nutrien Ag Solutions. By partnering with the leader in plant nutrition, you'll have access to innovative products and unmatched service that deliver impact and efficiency to every acre. Healthier crops, happier growers. Lead the field this season and beyond. Find your local crop consultant at nutrienagsolutions.com.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and the student athlete.
A 14-point lead for the Vermillion boys. Seems comfortable if you look at it on paper. 8 minutes to go. The way Sturgis Scoopers had only put up 10 points in that third quarter, you would say this should be a win for the Vermillion Tanagers. But we have seen crazier things happen. We'll see if the Vermillion boys can finish it off as we begin the fourth quarter with a missed jumper from Trey Hansen. The Scoopers will bring it into the front court. Over to Ryan Heiner, who has been quiet. He has 11 points as we begin this fourth quarter. Again, he scored 8 to start in quarter number 1. To the corner, 10 seconds on the shot clock, an off-balance shot off the mark, rebounded by Carter Hansen. Even with a 14-point lead, it's obvious you're not going to stop running your offense. Want to keep things going for the Vermillion Tanagers, but also make sure you work some of this clock. Have good offensive possessions is the main thing that head coach Jay Drake wants from his group. And that right there is a bad offensive possession. Wasted only 12 seconds of the clock and gives it right back to the Scoopers. Minute, though, gone in this fourth quarter, 52-38. Again, the Vermillion boys put up just 12 points in that third quarter after they scored 40 in the first half. Fadeaway jumper. This one is good for Tegan Wormstad, who now officially has 10 points here in the ball game. He is the second Scooper to get to double digits this afternoon. Cerny over to Carter Hansen. Hand off to Gabe Larson. Now to Luke Jensen. Dribble in between the legs. Kick over to the corner. Larson. 25 seconds this time gone. Off the shot clock as Trey Hansen will make his move. And they're going to count the bucket on the continuation. And the foul called against the Sturgis Scoopers, picking up their first team foul. And it will also be the first one called against Ty Petaracco for today. Again, continuation bucket. So the and one opportunity is good. And for Trey Hansen, now has 16 points in the ball game. And it's going to be a quick timeout called by head coach Jay Drake. We'll keep it right here as we take a look at the DAC-12 NEC clash and talk more about what's been all happening as another game has gone final when it comes to the clash. In earlier action, Redfield beat Canton 56-41. And also we saw Sisseton beat Tri-Valley. So technically the NEC up 2-1 right now over the DAC-12. 50-44 was that final between Sisseton and Tri-Valley. Lennox did beat Aberdeen Roncalli right here in the main gym, 57-47. Otherwise, no other game is currently happening in the auxiliary gym as they take their final few minutes for warm-up. Elk Point, Jefferson, and Millbank coming up next. Dakota Valley taking on Dual is the next game here in the main gym. And looking at games in the main gym, we have ranked games after that Dual Dakota Valley. Hamlin and West Central play each other at 4:15. And then the number one seeds, Sioux Falls Christian and Clark Willow Lake, will match up. And yes, Sioux Falls Christian is the number one seed when it comes to Class A. Some would even argue they are the best team when it comes to all of the classes across the state of South Dakota. Still undefeated, and the way things look on their schedule, it'll be the last game for Western Christian that Sioux Falls Christian could be tested. But again, Western Christian from the state of Iowa going into that game will have nothing to play for. They are the defending 2A state champions in the state of Iowa, and they'll want to be healthy going in to the postseason. Get my chance to see Western Christian once again this evening as they'll play for the second time this season at the Pentagon tonight. Back into action here, another missed shot from the Sturgis Scoopers. Again, Jay Drake used the timeout. It was a full timeout because he had no 30 seconds remaining, and he talked to his group all of 25 seconds, and they stood around for an extra 35. 55-40, 5:30 fourth quarter. Trey Hansen loses it in the lane. Again, what has been a low-scoring, only 5 points combined between these two teams here in the fourth quarter. That certainly favors the Vermillion Tanagers, and so does that right there. A bad pass out of bounds at the scorer's table. We'll give it right back to the Vermillion Tanagers as head coach Jay Drake walks around with his note card in his left hand, something that has become more of a staple for Jay Drake. Has his plays on there. It's exactly like you see from a head football coach. Play calls, so what they want to run offensively, look at things defensively. He'll glance at it, and more sometimes just for him to hold. Underneath in the lane, Jensen tries to go up strong, and a foul called. He'll head to the free throw line to shoot a pair. Now under 5 remaining in the fourth quarter. The foul called once again on Ty Petaracco, picking up his second personal. He's picked up both of his fouls in this fourth quarter. So again, Luke Jensen at the free throw line. 7 points, now make it 8. But before that, all 7 of his points had come in the second quarter. He is also 3 of 5 from the charity stripe this afternoon. Second free throw, this one is good. Give him 9 points. Tanagers do have 3 different players in double figures. 57-40, 17-point lead matches the biggest lead that Vermillion has had in this contest. Heiner trying to find some space against Carter Hansen, and Carter Hansen was reaching in. He'll draw a foul. Hansen picking up his first personal and also the first team foul. The only Tanager in foul trouble was Landon Cerny. He picked up 3, all coming in the first half. Had not picked up a foul in that third quarter. Not really much in foul trouble anymore. Almost halfway point of the fourth quarter at this point. You would just let it play out if you're a coach. Heiner over to the corner. The drive and the easy look for Tegan Wormstad. The first point that he has gotten in the paint. He has 12 points. Otherwise, again, they've all come from about the 10-foot mark. Hansen to Hansen. Trey has it at the moment. Larson. Dribble back out with the right hand. Trey just trying to work some of this clock. They've used 25 seconds. Now over to Larson. He'll shoot the 3. That one was in. And it pops somehow back out. 57-42. Fans, don't forget, coming up on our post-game show, we'll catch up with head coach Lewis Budmeyer and see if we can't catch up with a player as well to talk about a successful week at the moment for the Vermillion boys, as they're not only trying to move to 11-3 on the season, but also pick up 3 wins in a very busy week. Over Crow Creek and Del Rapids, both games at home and then playing at this neutral facility. It is, though, the second time that Vermillion has played here at Madison, and a shot that falls for Trey Hansen. Foul called. Trey has 18 points in the ball game, and will head to the free throw line to shoot an and 1. The foul, by the way, was called on Jackson Kano, picking up his second personal in the second team foul, and it looks like that head coach Dan Skinner is going to call off the Dogs. 59-42, at least give his main starters a breather. And have the feeling that if you're going to try and make a comeback, you would need guys like Ryan Heiner on the court. It's less than 24 hours for this Scoopers team that played yesterday. In fact, in the evening, they won the N1 opportunity good. Trey Hansen, the leading scorer, with 19 points. Underneath, and an easy reverse layup for Jackson Kano. 4 points for him in this afternoon's contest, 60-44. By the way, head coach Jay Drake is not satisfied. He has not called off the Dogs for his team, only up by 16. He feels like there might be something more still left in this game. And don't forget, head coach Jay Drake did see his team have a 15-point lead with 4 minutes remaining against West Central, and saw what could happen in a worst-case scenario. And now you're always going to be a little gun-shy after that, losing on a buzzer beater earlier this season. But for the main part for this offense, it's all about just working as much of this clock as they possibly can, trying to get it down to Jensen, who was fouled that time by Kano, picking up now his third personal. It's also the 4th team foul, but more specifically, because of the foul called, it resets the shot clock, so a fresh 35 goes back up, and it gives Vermillion just more time to bleed out this clock, and that's exactly what they're going to do. So yes, Dan Skinner did call off the Dogs for his team, as they just kind of all stand around, let Vermillion work as much of this clock as they possibly can, not trying to run it up any more than they really need to. Kano trying to play the tough defense, swiped at the ball, missed it. And with that, it will be his 4th personal, but more specifically, it is the 5th team foul, so bonus time and free throws upcoming for Trey Hansen. Trey Hansen, again, coming into this, averaging just under 17 points a ball game, has 19 in the contest, and with that, hits 20 for this afternoon. And finally, head coach Jay Drake has seen enough from his starting five. They'll get a round of applause for the Vermillion faithful that have made their second trip to Madison, South Dakota. As we'll see Jensen, Larson, and Cerny all come out. Cerny finishes with 12 points in the contest. Gabe Larson finishes with a 3-pointer, and Luke Jensen finishes with 9 points for this afternoon. And now a quick turnover, and quickly the opposite way, laying it up and in, is Trey Hansen, as he has a huge smile on his face. Now 23 for the ball game, including 10 in this fourth quarter, 64-44. And now a pass almost stolen away by Trey Hansen. He's okay with that because the foul also means he gets out of the game. It means some other guys will get some playing time, as checking in will be Grant Roerick and also Tyson Hovden. The freshman will get his chance to play the final 152 of this fourth quarter. So from this point on, it's just garbage time. Vermillion will get the DAC-12 back to an even series in this clash of 2-2, as the NEC has already won 2, including Sisseton and Redfield, picking up victories over Tri-Valley and Canton, respectively. Pass over to Roovers. Kick over. 3-pointer is off the mark, but it's going to be rebounded by Preister. It's all about working some of this clock, or you're supposed to, if you will, but when you put in the backups, they don't necessarily care what the clock says. They just want some opportunities to have a chance to score some varsity minutes. 64-44, 106 fourth quarter. For the Sturgis Brown Scoopers, they'll reset. They'll get ready for their next matchup back home, taking on St. Thomas More. That is coming up early next week on Tuesday. The right-hand jumper is good in the lane at that time. For Ty Ferguson, his first 2 points of the game, second time that he has gotten some playing time here this afternoon. Spencer Blanchette in the front court. Dribble in between the legs, over to Preister. Back over to Spencer. Down to 33 seconds. The move by Roovers, has to pick up his dribble, back out. Roerick has it. Pass over to Spencer, who has to keep it from going out of bounds. Back to Preister, down to 8 seconds on the shot clock. Blanchette will now shoot the 3, knock it down. Spencer Blanchette, his second shot that he's taken here of the afternoon, is able to knock down the second 3-pointer, 67-46. Ferguson looks and is going to get bumped as he was going up for a shot. And with 7 seconds, it'll be the final opportunity for points for the Sturgis Brown Scoopers and for the Vermillion Tanagers. Again, fans, don't forget, we'll catch up with a player and Coach Budmeyer, if we can, here on our post-game show and go over our final game statistics and get you set for what's coming up next for the Vermillion boys. As again, they are back in action next week on the road before they're back home next Friday to take on Groton area. Again, at one point, could have been a chance that they played Groton but couldn't here in this DAC-12 NEC clash because of playing him, trying to avoid multiple times. Ferguson hits the second free throw, and that will do it. Vermillion had a 9-point lead after quarter number 1, expanded it to 12 at halftime, 40-28. And after quarter number 3, it was up as much by 14, 52-38. And the final 67-47 after Vermillion struggled to get their offense going to start this fourth quarter. Simply took care of business from there, winning by 20 over the Sturgis Brown Scoopers. Vermillion moves to 11-3 on the season. They'll remain 1-2 within the region and remain 4-3 in the DAC-12. The Sturgis Brown Scoopers fall to 5-7 on their season. They are now going to introduce the player of the game. It will probably go to the man who put up 23 points here this afternoon, Trey Hansen. It will be the player of the game. Again, Trey Hansen's 23 points. Right behind him was Carter Hansen, who finished with 17, but they will actually give it to the senior instead. Carter Hansen will be the player of the game. So the older brother gets it as the player of the game today for the Vermillion Tanagers, and great defensive performance as it was his task to shut down Ryan Heinert and did exactly that. Heinert put up 6 points in the first quarter, combined 5 points in the remaining 3 quarters. Again, your final 67-47 here in the Madison main gymnasium. We're going to step aside for our postgame. That is on the way next here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live.
What's
Life can get pretty busy out there. Daily commutes, carpooling, and then there's that weekend getaway. Cenex is here to keep your vehicle fueled up for those long drives, your pantry stocked for those snack cravings, and the propane grill ready whenever you are. Things can move fast, but with your local Cenex, you can rest assured that everything on your list will get a check mark, all in a day's work, powered locally at Cenex.
Agriculture is like no other business, which makes Farm Credit Services of America like no other lender. Owned by the farmers and ranchers we serve, our customers have a voice in how we work, a stake in what we do, and share in our success. Discover a lender that works for you at Farm Credit Services of America.
This is what matters. This is beyond X's and O's. This is the difference mutual respect makes. This is what character looks like. This is what defines us in South Dakota. This is sportsmanship. School sports, it's not the outcome that matters most, but the way the games are played. This message presented by the South Dakota High School Activities Association and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to the Vermillion Booster Club Press Box, proud supporters of all Tanager athletics and the student athlete.
The next game is coming up in 12 minutes between Dual and Dakota Valley here at the main gym. Just want to bring that up. We're not going to cover that game. Dakota Valley looking to bounce back after they had a tough loss against Sioux Falls Christian on Thursday evening. It's the DAC-12 NEC clash as it's Final Four. The Vermillion boys picking up a crucial win in their campaign this year. 67-47 is your final over the Sturgis Brown Scoopers. Again, the Scoopers came in 5-6 overall, 3 straight wins for that group, but just could not get things going offensively and could not shut down the offense of the Vermillion Tanagers. Vermillion put up 40 points in that first half, and it was a key contribution as 3 different players finished in double digits for this afternoon, including leading the way, Trey Hansen with 23 points. The player of the game, Carter Hansen, with 17 points, and will also go home with a book bag from the DAC-12 NEC clash. And Landon Cerny finished with 12 points in the ball game, all from downtown of where he got his 12 points. Other scorers include Luke Jensen, who had 9 points in the contest, and Gabe Larson and Spencer Blanchett, 3 points apiece this afternoon for the Vermillion Tanagers. For the Sturgis Brown Scoopers, led in a way actually by 2 different guys, tied for 12 points. Hayden Rock finished with 12, and Tegan Wormstadt finished with 12 points. Ryan Heiner finished with 11 points in the game. Again, he scored 6 in that first quarter, only scored 5 in the final 3, as Vermillion did a really good job in keying in on him and shutting him down for this afternoon. Jackson Kano finished with 4 points and 3 points apiece for West and Ferguson. As I mentioned earlier on the post-game show, Sturgis moves to 5-7 on the season, whereas the Vermillion Tanagers now move to 11-3 on the season, remain 1-2 within the region, and 4-3 in the DAC-12. And as we know for the Vermillion Tanagers, it does not get any easier of a road for them, as coming up this next week, 2 crucial games on the road at Beersford, as that boys program has really turned things around and has got going in the right direction for this group, for the Beersford Watchdogs. And then coming up on Friday, Groton area, as Vermillion will be home against the Tigers. But I know one other thing is going to be happening. Dakota Valley is within 10 days. Coach Budmeyer joins us. Do we stay for a half, or are we staying for the full game? What's the plan on Dakota Valley here?
I think we're just planning on staying for a half, kind of get a feel for them. The thing about with DV, I mean, these kids have played them since youth. I mean, it's nothing new. Like, we know Coach Kleiss does a phenomenal job at Dakota Valley. They've done the same thing, and when you have a culture built like that, only success comes. So we kind of know who they are, but it'll be good to see personnel in person, because film can be deceiving. I've learned that this year watching some teams. Like, they look, even like their physique is deceiving. Like today, Sturgis looks smaller than what I thought on film, and then I saw them today. Like, these guys are physically gifted. They're pretty big kids, pretty stout kids. But yeah, we'll stay for the half. But we got a huge win today against a really good Sturgis team.
Before we talk about the Sturgis, it seems this season head coach Jay Drake has had some type of relation, it seems like, in every game where he knows somebody some way. You're from Belle-Fourche, of course, maybe, I mean, a little bit graduated at this point, but did you know anybody on the Sturgis Scoopers team? Any friendships, relationships there for you?
My only really true connection would be the Deshock, who played for them. His dad was a Belle-Fourche alum, then he was a legend at Black Hills State as well. So his dad would have went to school with my uncle. So that was my only true connection. But it actually was kind of good to see Sturgis Scoopers. I haven't seen them live for many years now, and going back to when I was playing, it was like the old districts time, so we played them home and away. It's a big rivalry for them. Always played them in football. That was always a battle. So it's a big rivalry for us, and it always feels good seeing those West River teams out east now.
Something else that feels good, winning by 20, 67-47. Ryan Heinert was one of the key targets for this Scoopers. I know, catching up with head coach Jay Drake in our pregame show, it was all about shutting him down. Scored 6. He looked like he was really going to dominate in that first quarter. What was the flip? What was the deciding factor the rest of the game to shut him down, only allowing him 11 points in the contest?
We focused more like kind of on our digging down on him, so he hurt us early in the post. He's a big physical kid. He can do it all. He can shoot it out. You saw him hit that NBA range 3. He can get in the post. He has good post moves. We made a few adjustments just in the timeout, and then at halftime too, we really focused on digging down with our guards, not going a full double team, but digging down, making him see bodies. And then always when you're guarding the post, right-handed, always wants to come over his left shoulder. So we told Carter to watch that, maybe blitz his left shoulder when he's trying to turn there. But overall, the team defense is what made it. We corrected our team defense. We were kind of leaving Carter on an island in the post, and you put him on anybody one-on-one in the post, your chances aren't very good. So we bought into our team defense from the guards to Carter just battling in there, and overall we just improved the second half.
Team offense, when it comes to a game like this against Sturgis Brown, obviously you want to get the offense going, put up 40 points in that first half, but everyone hits a 3 as well in that first half. How impressive was this team that's all built around their perimeter shooting?
Yeah, it was mostly impressive because our focus to start was all paint touches. Like, I think Trey started the game with 2 layups. Carter had many up fakes on the outside, got to 2 feet in the paint. So when we hit 3s, it's when we start in the paint. You go back to like the Lennox game, we were trying to just shoot 3s without getting paint touches, and it doesn't work very good. When you take good quality looks from inside out, we can shoot. We know we can shoot the ball, but it just depends on what type of shot we're getting. It all started with our paint touches, so I'd do the reverse of that. We hit shots, yes, but it started with us getting in the paint.
Yeah, inside out, and that's, like you said, all about the touches and making sure the offense is working. Going into this fourth quarter, up by 14, 52-38. Of course, this season has been the opposite of last year, of making sure you finish. Got off to a little bit of a slow start, but from there, able to expand on that 14-point lead to win by 20. How nice was it to finish a contest like this, especially with heavy legs from this week?
Yeah, it was a great way to finish off. That's kind of been always our thing this year, is like we don't necessarily have that killer instinct. We get a team on the ropes, we just can't put them away. And tonight we did, this afternoon actually. It's kind of weird playing in the middle of the day.
It is, oh, absolutely.
But that's another tough element of the clashes and these classics and stuff, when you are playing at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So the kids showed up big time. One of our keys going into it was a fast start. I thought we accomplished that. And then our second one was to, if we got a lead, let's put them away when we can. Took us a little longer. We could have done it earlier in the third. But when you're playing a good team, they're always going to battle back. It's going to be a game of runs. They're a solid squad. But at the end of the day, we got the points in the end. We got the big-time stops in the fourth and those big momentum stops. You can just kind of feel the energy. Our bench did a phenomenal job tonight as well. That was a great team win, top to bottom, staff-wise, and I think every single player we got better today from this game.
10 days, Dakota Valley, Groton area on Friday. I know the James boy from Beersford has really come along of him just playing even some travel ball. But just in general, that Watchdogs boys basketball team has just continued to take another step forward. What should we expect on Tuesday evening?
Yeah, James he's a freak athlete. He's a heck of an athlete, extremely athletic. In one of the games, I can't remember watching film, but he had like 5 and 1s in his in a game. He had 5 and 1s. And that's just outrunning people, out jumping people. We just got to go 1-0 on Tuesday. That's our big key. Can't be looking ahead to our DV growing. Obviously, those are the big ones, obviously. But now with where our situation is, Coach Drake always says, we keep checking off a box of a win, that next one becomes that much bigger no matter who's standing across from us. Beersford is a dangerous team. They got good athletes. They're really well coached. That same coach has been there for a while now. So he's kind of got that culture set. They've won some games over the years. So that's going to be a tough battle. But overall, if our guys just show up and we defend, we'll be just fine.
Coach, 11-3. Go enjoy this one. Enjoy the weekend as well, all right?
Thanks, Heath.
There is Coach Budmeyer here on our post-game show as, again, Vermillion gets a 67-47 victory. And that will do it for our post-game as well, as, again, the Vermillion Tanagers move to 11-3 on the season. The Sturgis Brown Scoopers drop to 5-7. We'll be back with you coming up next week for more high school hoops right here on Live Ticket TV and Vermillion Tanagers Live. For Lewis, who's joined us here on production, I'm Heath Nimke. Until next week, have yourself a wonderful rest of your weekend.